Pandora is a fascinating world. It's a huge world. It has jungles and floating mountains. And suddenly some humans attack the Navis, who are the local tribes.
And the Navis escape to another group of islands where they defend themselves.
Yep, that's the story of the movie Avatar 2. I think it's called the Avatar The Way of Water.
But this is not an episode about the movie, right?
No, it's not. But I just thought, for those of you who may have seen the movie, you might have been captivated by the underwater travel scenes, that are shown in the movie where the Navis and the other local tribes swim under the water along with all those beautiful underwater creatures. Just like that, in this episode, we're going to talk about a fascinating form of underwater travel, that is through underground water pipes.
I think you're kidding. Can I say what this episode is about?
Go ahead.
If you ask me, today's news story is even more fascinating. When I read the story about robots traveling in underground pipes to fix water leaks in the UK, well, it seemed to me at first that it was like a story out of a science fiction book.
I agree. It's a fun news story with lots of trips that we'll make into a land of imagination. Hi there. You're listening to What's New Today, a kids and family podcast about current events shaping our world. This is Sangeeta, your host from India. And in every episode, we take one super interesting news story, and a curious child from anywhere in the world joins me to discuss this news story. Joining me in today's episode is...
Hi, I'm Trayee and I'm 11 years old. I'm in 6th grade and I love to read about news, and whenever I'm bored, I like to listen to this podcast.
Welcome back to the show, Trayee. And I'm thrilled to know that this podcast channel is a good companion for you to kill your boredom. All those kids who love remote control cars or drones and are fascinated by things like robotics, today's news story is about all of these and much more.
I've got a riddle to help our listeners understand today's topic. I am small but mighty. I can go underground. With my tools and camera, I can fix what's found. I help the water flow without any delay. What am I? Hint, I am not a human. I am a machine on display. If you haven't guessed it, the answer is robots doing boring work.
That's a really cool riddle. Thank you, Trey. So, Trey, can you walk us through why the United Kingdom wants to use robots deep underground?
UK loses 3 billion litres of water every day. That's a lot of water. It can fill more than 100 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Wow, that's a lot of water that is getting wasted. I think that's also equal to the water consumed by nearly half of India's population every single day.
They're going to use the robots to help stop leakage. The humans that are working there, no offense to the humans who are working there, are not preventing leakage that much. Like, they're not doing it very efficiently, but robots will be able to do it much more efficiently and prevent a lot of leakage from happening.
Really? So what is it that we can't do that these robots can do that efficiently?
Most of the leaks are caused by tiny leaks which are very hard for humans to detect. Once a team in the UK had been working for 4 days and had not been able to detect the leak at all. Robots can detect the leak more easily because one, they are robots and they are designed for that kind of things, and two, that they are crawling inside the pipe, so they may be able to see the leakage more easily.
Ooh, how tiny are these robots?
They're just as big as my thumb, just a couple of inches, that's all.
That is smaller than most toys that people have at home.
Yeah, I have a toy car which is about as big as my palm. So yeah, definitely this is much smaller.
So how does this system work? Does a human being on the ground communicate to the robot saying, hey, please go to this location, there's a leak there, can you please fix it?
No, the robots don't wait for anyone to tell them what to do or where there is a leakage. They just are always scuttling around in the underground pipes, and when they sense that there is a part of the wire that is weak, they immediately seal it up before even the leakage starts, and they communicate with each other using sound waves because GPS doesn't work deep underground.
You remember at the beginning of this episode, we spoke about the Navi tribe in the Avatar movie? So based on all that we've been speaking about robots doing underground water pipe work, I've got an interesting question for you. If the Navis in that movie had to fix their underground water pipes, what do you think they would do?
Remember, the Navi can also actually speak to the creatures who live in Pandora. Well, they would probably ask the spiders to scuttle underground and fix the leakages using their silk. And to help communication, they would probably ask the bats to send ultrasonic sounds to the spiders, because spiders don't use ultrasonic sounds.
Wow, I love all these creative answers that kids can come up with. And with that, we move to the next super interesting part of today's episode.
Quiz time! Let's see how well you listened.
Question 1. Trayee wants to sit on one of these underground robots and travel through the pipes. Is this possible, or am I in fantasy land imagining this possibility?
You are in fantasy land, most definitely, because unless I take a magic potion and shrink to the size of my thumb, it's not possible to travel on those robots because they're so tiny.
Question 2. The United Kingdom will have one single mini robot to travel through the entire country to fix its pipes. Is this correct?
No, it's not correct. There's an entire teamwork of robots working in the underground pipes because they have to relay messages to each other.
Question 3. This question is based on the Avatar movie. The local tribes featuring in Pandora have blue or green skin. True or false?
You're correct.
And before we end this episode, Trayee's got a very interesting riddle for you. If you know the answer to this, please definitely email it to us at hello@wsnt.in, and you might win a chance to feature in one of our upcoming episodes just like Trayee here.
The riddle is: I swim in the sea with a fin and a grin. I'll eat you for breakfast or lunch or din. I've got a row of teeth that are sharp and white. What am I? Hint, I'm not a dolphin, I'm a bit of a bite.
Found the answer? Email it to us at hello@wsnt.in. You'll find the link to this email in the show notes below. And that brings us to the end of this episode. If you enjoyed listening to this banter between Trayee and I as we explored a very interesting news story from the UK today, you just might really love catching up with all the news around the world with your family on this podcast channel. New episodes drop every Monday and Friday. And I have a small request from all of our listeners. Please spread the word far and wide so we can reach more listeners, so you could share it with your friends and family. But there's a much easier way that you can really help us spread the word. That is simply by clicking on follow or subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this, and please definitely leave us a rating. If you're on Spotify, you'll have a place where you can go and click on rate. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can both leave a rating and a review. So please do help us reach more listeners with this simple act from your side.
And thanks for listening.